Ravens fan, listen up because what I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. Marlon Humphrey, one of our top leaders on the field, just dropped a bombshell statement about the Chiefs. And let me tell you, this isn't just any opinion. It's something that's shaking the entire NFL. Can you imagine a player openly saying what everyone else only thinks in silence? Well, that's exactly what happened, and the reason behind his words will leave you speechless. Now think about it. The Chiefs have been dominating the league, and every season it seems like no one can stop Mahomes and company. But Humphrey, even though the Ravens are out of the playoffs, decided to throw some more fuel on the fire and expose a side that few are brave enough to show. Is he right? Does this statement reflect what the rest of the league feels too? Or was it just a rant from someone wanting a change in the game? Stay with us until the end, because we'll dive deep into this, understand what made Humphrey say what he did, the impact of those words, and of course, how this could influence the Ravens in the next season. You won't want to miss any details of this story that's making waves. Go Ravens! Marlon Humphrey didn't waste any time and said exactly what he thinks about the Kansas City Chiefs. After the Ravens were eliminated from the playoffs, the cornerback took to social media and made it clear that he doesn't want to see Mahomes and company win another title. He called himself a hater of the team and said he's hoping the Chiefs get knocked out, whether it's the Bills in the AFC Championship or an NFC team in the Super Bowl. His bluntness caught many by surprise, but it's hard not to relate to his sentiment. Who hasn't rooted against a team that seems to win all the time? What's interesting is how Humphrey approached it with humor and lightness. Despite the tough situation the Ravens are, he admitted that his only reason for rooting against the Chiefs is a bit of a grudge. But this is something that many players and fans can understand. It's like seeing that classmate who always gets the best grades. After a while, you just want someone else to come out on top. Humphrey gave a voice to something many people think, but few are brave enough to say out loud. This statement also highlights the competitiveness that exists in the NFL. The success of the Chiefs, while admirable, also breeds a kind of fatigue among rivals. For players like Humphrey, who fight year after year for a title, seeing the same team always on top can be frustrating. He's not just being a fan here. He's expressing a desire for the league to have more balance, where other teams can also shine. This rivalry is what makes the sport so passionate. Even though the Ravens are out of the playoffs, Humphrey continues to show he's keeping an eye on the postseason. His statement sparked a lot of chatter among fans and reinforced how the Chiefs' dominance bothers not only other teams but players around the league as well. The question now is, who will be able to stop Kansas City? And for Humphrey, that hope lies with the Bills. Which brings us to think about the pressure Buffalo carries as they face the reigning champions. Marlon Humphrey's words carry much more than just a bit of rivalry with the Chiefs. They reflect the weight of another season that ended without the expected result for the Ravens. Being eliminated from the playoffs is always a bitter feeling, and that frustration is amplified when you see a rival like Kansas City dominating year after year. For Humphrey, even though he's out of the competition, there's still a desire to see someone prevent Mahomes' team from continuing their streak of glory. It's almost as if, in some way, he wanted another team to do what the Ravens have yet to achieve. And it makes sense. After all, the Chiefs don't just win. They leave a trail of superiority that irritates their rivals. Humphrey, being the competitive player he is, feels this directly. It's a sentiment that goes beyond the field, as the constant success of a rival turns into fuel for this rival. The NFL is full of stories like this, and Humphrey verbalized what many players might have in mind, but prefer not to say out loud. Sometimes, it's hard to swallow the success of someone who's always on top. On the other hand, his statement also serves as a reminder that the league is unpredictable, full of twists. Humphrey knows that, as dominant as the Chiefs are, they're also subject to a fall, and that's what makes the championship so exciting. The hope that Kansas City's dominance can be interrupted is what fuels the fans of other teams. Deep down, perhaps the cornerback is expressing the same anxiety many fans feel when they see a dynasty rise. Now, for Humphrey and many others, all the attention is on who will be the team to stop the Chiefs. If it's not the Ravens, who will it be? This brings us to the Bills, the team that may carry the weight of the AFC and, who knows, change the course of the season. The Chiefs are, without a doubt, the team everyone wants to beat. With 2 consecutive Super Bowl titles and a constant presence at the top of the AFC, they've become the biggest target in the league. Marlon Humphrey knows this, and by declaring himself a hater of the team, he's only reinforcing a sentiment that already exists among many players and fans. After all, When a team dominates for so long, it doesn't just attract admiration, but also a wave of dislike. And let's be honest, it's natural to want to see the Giants fall. The success of the Chiefs is undeniable, but it comes at a cost. The constant pressure to stay on top and deal with the growing list of rivals who want to take them down. For players like Humphrey, seeing Kansas City shine year after year is a constant reminder of what the Ravens have yet to achieve. This dominance creates a competitive atmosphere that goes far beyond the field, fueling rivalries and making every game against the Chiefs even more emotionally charged. But what's really striking is how the Chiefs seem to thrive in this environment of pressure and expectation. Led by Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they've managed to maintain a consistency that few teams in NFL history have achieved. This makes them not only the team to beat, but also the primary enemy for anyone who wants to change the league's landscape. Humphrey, by vocalizing his dissatisfaction, has brought even more attention to this everyone against the Chiefs narrative. Now, the question remains, will anyone be able to end this streak? Meanwhile, the Chiefs remain firmly in control, but not without worthy opponents. And for Humphrey, the Bills might be the key to changing the game and bringing some excitement back to the AFC. Well, we've passed the halfway point of the video, but I noticed you haven't left a like yet. This is really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, and that way I'll keep bringing you more exciting updates. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free. Thanks a lot. Now let's keep going. If there's one team in the AFC that could end the Chiefs' dominance, it's the Buffalo Bills. Marlon Humphrey made that clear in his statement, expressing his hope that the Bills would be the ones to stop Kansas City in the conference final. Buffalo has been one of the few teams capable of facing the Chiefs head-to-head in recent years, and that pressure only intensifies. For many, the Bills are the last hope of the AFC to prevent another title for Mahomes. What makes Buffalo such a serious threat is their combination of explosive offense led by Josh Allen and a solid defense that can put pressure on Mahomes. Humphrey, as an experienced defender, knows just how crucial this formula is to defeat a dynamic team like the Chiefs. Additionally, he acknowledges that the Bills fans and players are desperate for a title, which makes this potential rematch even more intriguing. It almost feels like Buffalo is destined to be Kansas City's biggest rival in this era. If the Bills manage to beat the Chiefs in the AFC final, it would completely change the league's landscape. Not only would they have the chance to win the long-awaited Super Bowl title, but they would also break Kansas City's dominant streak, something Marlon Humphrey and many other players hope to see. The pressure is on Josh Allen and his team, but that's exactly what makes this matchup a must-watch for any NFL fan. Now, the AFC final takes on even greater significance, and fans are eager to know if Buffalo has what it takes to defeat the league's top. But if the Bills fall short, there's still hope. The NFC might be the last obstacle for Kansas City. Marlon Humphrey's statement has stirred up fans, players, and even sports commentators. His honesty sparked a mix of laughter and reflection, especially when he called himself a hater of the Chiefs without hesitation. On one hand, many found it funny and related to the sentiment, while others questioned if it was the right time to express so much frustration publicly. But one thing is certain, Humphrey brought even more attention to the everyone against Kansas City narrative. Such comments also fuel the competitive atmosphere in the NFL. When a player vocalizes a sentiment shared by many fans, it builds even more anticipation for the games. After all, now the pressure is even higher on the Bills, the NFC, and even the Chiefs. Humphrey hit the nail on the head by saying what many think, but few have the courage to say. This shows that, in the NFL, rivalries go way beyond the field. However, Humphrey's words also carry responsibility for the Ravens. Seeing a rival like the Chiefs dominate, he knows Baltimore needs to prepare better and find a way to compete at a high level. After all, to get back to the Super Bowl, the team will need to overcome challenges like Kansas City. His statement may have been made in jest, but it carries a clear message. The Ravens can't stay out of the conversation for much longer. With that, Humphrey has reignited the rivalry within the league. But the question remains, who will stop the Chiefs? Will the next champion come from the NFC, or will the Ravens still have their shot next season? So, fan, after everything Marlon Humphrey said about the Chiefs, the big question is, will anyone finally manage to stop the Kansas City dynasty, or will we see the Chiefs dominating once? What do you think? The rivalry is hotter than ever, and Humphrey's words could mark the beginning of a new era. Don't forget to share your opinion on this. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so now, because there's plenty more exciting content coming your way. See you in the next video.